In this video, I'm going to talk about cube rotations during your F2L and tell you when it's okay and when it's not okay to do them. So rotating the cube around like this during your F2L can slow you down quite a bit, especially if you're just rotating to look for pieces. So here is some advice to reduce the number of times you have to rotate the cube into a different orientation throughout your F2L. So this first tip is a reference to another video in this module which shows you how to solve F2L pairs into all 4 different slots as opposed to just your front slots. So for example, if we have these 2 pieces here, using your sort of basic F2L cases, you would rotate twice and then insert them with L'U'L like that. But to avoid the rotations, we can simply do it on the right side in the back by doing R'U'R to connect the pair and put it into this back right slot like that. So if you get really good at solving F2L pairs into all 4 different F2L slots, this will reduce the number of rotations that you need to make during your F2L. Another tip to help reduce rotations during your F2L, as well as help out your look ahead, is at the start of F2L, try and solve your F2L pairs into the back 2 slots. So for example, if you have a choice where you can solve 2 pieces either into the front right, like that, or into the back left, like that, and it's one of your first 2 F2L pairs, I would highly recommend solving them into the back slot. If you solve your first 2 F2L pairs into the back slots, that means that the front 2 slots will be open for your final 2 pairs, which will help you look ahead, as you don't need to be looking into the back as they're already solved, as well as helping reduce rotations because all you need to do is solve them around the front 2 slots. However, I would recommend not going out of your way to solve F2L pairs into the back at the start. For example, here, if we have this F2L pair, it's far better to just put it into the slot here as opposed to rotating and then solving it into the back. So it's something to keep in mind, but you don't have to follow that strictly. Another thing you can try doing is doing wide D moves to move F2L slots around and keep your top layer in the fixed position. So here's a quick example to show you what I mean. If we have this F2L pair here, this corner and this edge, and they belong in this slot, normally we would do a U and then either rotate left or rotate right and insert the pair. However, instead of doing that and a rotation, we can just do a wide D move like that, which brings this slot over here underneath this F2L pair without doing a rotation and then insert it directly like that. So this is something you can do. I wouldn't recommend using it too often as it does require you to kind of re-grip your cube and it could ruin your rhythm in solves, but in cases like that, it's kind of useful. The other thing is, so rotations are slow, but they're not necessarily always bad. Rotations can be quick if you know what you're doing. So don't go over the top and really restrict yourself. In pretty much every solve, you will need to do at least 1 or more rotations during your F2L. And if you know that you need to rotate, then don't be afraid to. But again, make it a purposeful rotation. So rotate for a purpose as opposed to just rotating around looking for pieces or looking for slots to fill. So don't rotate the cube around unless you're 99% sure that you need to. So excessive rotations are bad, but a few rotations during your F2L are perfectly fine and can actually make your solves faster.